This is Walter Cronkite reporting from Madrid. This is the story of a dictatorship of Franco's Spain, a country which has been inching its way into the mainstream of European life.
Franco was born in 1892 in Ferrol, Spain. His family served the army for a lot of years and generations, so did him. To follow his family traditions, Franco wanted to join the army like at the age of 23 years. But after the Spanish-American War, the Spanish army was very reduced. So after he finished his primary education, he was obligated to join the army in Toledo. He had the opportunity to graduate 3 years later with kind of bad grade. The main action that triggered his rise was that in 1912, when he had just 20 years, Spain conquered Morocco, but the native people was still fighting to avoid being conquered. So Franco volunteered to go there and establish some order, and he stood there till 1926. Franco was getting high ranks very quick at the army, because he was mainly characterized for his fearlessness, professionalism, and ruthlessness. Actually, while he was in Morocco at the age of 28, he was promoted and named second in command of the Spain Foreign Legion. Then, at the age of 33, he was named general, which made him the youngest soldier in Europe to get that rank. 2 years later, now named director of the military academy in Zaragoza. But then the politicians didn't want him to rise anymore and took him a little down because they were jealous. So they brought him down when the elections came up.
Political and economic ideologies. Franco's regime had a number of characteristics. The only authorized party was the national movement. Parliamentary democracy was replaced by the system of organic democracy, which was exercised through natural organisms. The organic vote, with the idea of democracy, is rather leftist, limiting the vote to those who show political interest. However, his vote will be only municipal, in short, to the government, which will only impose a hierarchy of the best or more experts. From that moment, Franco and his government dominate all Spain, beginning to what we know as Franquismo. Franco called his regime organic democracy, but in reality, it was not a democracy. The main laws passed during Franco's dictatorship were called fundamental laws. The concentration of the power was in a single person. El Caudillo proclaimed head of the state. Franco is the only responsible before God and the nation, head of the Supreme Council of Defense. Franco, Caudillo de España por la gracia de Dios. Franco dissolved the Spanish parliament, set about creating the authoritarian government. He attempted to control almost of Spain's social life, limiting freedom of expression, removing universal suffrage, and preventing anti-government talk. He reinstated the Catholic Church as the main church of Spain. Spain had different periods. The first one was the autarky period, where the country only produced for itself. They didn't sell or buy from other countries, but this is difficult for the countries to don't have a relationship among other countries, because at some point it will collapse by lacking some product or don't have it anymore. Then the period of increased income, this helped Spain to develop relationships with other countries, and they also established foreign tourist sites. And the Spaniards, who had to leave to work to other countries, continued sending money to Spain. As things go up, they go down. The period of crisis comes as the countries because of the increase of petroleum price in 1973. However, after Franco took the control of Spain, a few months later, the United Nations excluded Spain, placing significant economic strain to the country. Franco's rule and Spain's position in the international community were further complicated by the start of the World War II, initially declaring Spain's neutrality. Circumstances changed with the start of the Cold War. Franco's status and anti-communism led to an economic and military assistance from the United States in exchange of establishment of military bases in Spain. Over time, Francisco Franco increased in economics during his time in Spain, enjoyed rapid economic growth in the 1960s, and by the end of the century, he decided to open the market to other countries that allowed a group of neoliberals to try to resuscitate the Spanish economy. The group, which includes some Opus Dei people, bankers, economists, lawyers, consists of younger and more enlightened people. It was his stabilization plan, and it started working well because foreign countries decided to invest with Spain.
Franco's association with World War II is strong, as he got power with the help of fascist Italy and had full support of Hitler. Thanks to this, he supported the Axis powers. He sent troops and opened Spain coast to every country in the Axis side. When it was clear that Germany began to lose, Spain declared to be neutral. As a result of the support shown from Spain towards the Axis, the Allies made a trading blockade with Spain and closed any relationship with the country, which made a very difficult economic situation to Spain because of the hard trading conditions. Francisco Franco human rights violations. Let's take a look at Franco's crimes in numbers. 100,000 dead in combat. 80,000 deaths caused by Franco's repression during the war and immediate post-war. 10,000 killed in bombings. 50,000 deaths from disease and malnutrition. 38,000 murders to hand of the Republican repression. So, besides all of this, if we add the numbers of dead exiles, the total amounts to about 800,000 victims. They practiced torture systemically and authorized looting of the worst kind in entire populations. This included raping of women and burning down the houses of the people. Persons affiliated with political parties or trade unions to the Popular Front, those who suspected they were supporters of them, they had over their heads a death sentence general that in thousands of cases was executed without any judicial action at least until mid-1937.
First of all, I will be saying that Francisco Franco had a brutal military dictatorship in which many people died. And he died in 1975 in the 20th of November when the country wanted to change from a dictatorship led by Francisco Franco to a democracy. Now I will be talking about before I talk about the end, I will talk the motives that make the people wanted to end the Francisco Franco dictatorship. He was a very ruthless leader that take out and ban the idioms like Catalan and Basque languages. And he killed many of the people that were arrested or that were imprisoned. So this made the people uncomfortable about his way of dictatorship and they wanted to end it. Other thing that helped the end of Francisco Franco was the beginning of the World War II, in which he helped the Axis power like Hitler and all those countries, but at the end the war was going to the other side and he declared neutrality. And when that happened, many other countries of the United Nations or that side of the like USA and all of that do not forget the part that they helped the Axis power. So they put a great strain in the economy of Spain. Finally, in the last days of life of Francisco Franco, he get a successor named Prince Juan Carlos, in which he believed that this prince will maintain the way of governing that Francisco Franco had. But 2 days after Francisco Franco died, he changed the way of government to a democracy with political parties and a better way of governing. So basically the end of Francisco Franco was when he chose his next successor and died naturally, because this made the government change because the successor didn't want the same way of dictatorship or the same way of governing. And the consequence of all the governing of Francisco Franco was that the people didn't want another dictatorship, and finally they got a democracy with the Prince Juan Carlos. So they needed to support Francisco Franco by a long time, but at the end they get a democracy.